I think we need to understand how ridiculous the president of the United States sounded tonight. He sounded like a real estate agent. He was talking about, how we're gonna rebuild and, we're going to restructure and it's going to be a beautiful place. When he was explaining what he was explaining about how the U.S. will own Gaza.
Imagine Trump as a real estate mogul eyeing Gaza like it's his next big project. Yep, you heard that right. The man who couldn't even build a proper wall now wants to fix an entire war-torn region. Stephen A. Smith just dropped a truth bomb that'll make you spit out your coffee. He's not holding back, folks. Trump's Gaza plan. It's as ridiculous as trying to solve world hunger with a Trump steak. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Alright folks, buckle up because we're about to take a wild ride through Trump's latest real estate venture. And trust me, it's not another golf course or tacky hotel, no.
Greater minds, fresher minds than me know all too well the history of the Palestinians and Israel. We know the Israeli-Palestinian conflict spanning decades.
He said you should use more bombs, completely level the place so you can just start fresh.
None of us should take this lightly. We should treat it with the seriousness that it deserves. And what I will say is that we certainly shouldn't be hearing about real estate opportunities. We just shouldn't be hearing about real estate opportunities.
Our favorite orange turd has set his sights on something much bigger, Gaza. That's right, the man who couldn't even run a casino without bankrupting it now thinks he can solve one of the world's most complex conflicts with a little bit of Trump magic. Picture this, Donnie Diapers lounging in his golden bathtub, probably eating a Big Mac, when suddenly he has a brilliant idea. What if I just owned Gaza? He mumbles through a mouthful of special sauce. Because apparently, in Trump's world, owning stuff is the solution to everything. Who needs decades of careful diplomacy when you can just slap a big Trump sign on the Gaza Strip? But here's the kicker, folks.
When I listened to him, first of all, I think 95% of what he said, if not all 100 of it, is going to be dismissed. I can't imagine the United States of America inserting itself in the American citizens. I happen to be one of them.
And I get you on it, and I think that your take is going to find an audience in America right now. Dusty, what'd you just tell me? What the president articulated tonight, and everybody will say whatever a president says is official policy of the United States, not with Trump.
Our grumpy Trumpy seems to have forgotten one teeny tiny detail. There are actual people living in Gaza, millions of them in fact. And they're not exactly thrilled about the idea of being kicked out of their homes, so Trump can build another monument to his ego. It's like he thinks he can just move people around like they're pieces on a Monopoly board. Sorry Palestinians, do not pass go, do not collect $200, just get out so I can build Trump Tower, Gaza edition. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure solving the Gaza crisis isn't as simple as redecorating a penthouse. Trump's treating this like it's an episode of Extreme Makeover Middle East Edition. What's next? Is he going to send in Ty Pennington to yell, "Move that rocket launcher," through a megaphone? But wait, it gets better. Trump's brilliant plan completely ignores decades of US foreign policy. It's like he took a look at years of careful negotiations and said, nah, too boring. Let's spice things up, because nothing says peace in the Middle East like a guy who can't even make a decent steak. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who thought he could buy Greenland. At this point, I'm half expecting him to announce he's purchasing the moon and turning it into a golf resort.
Elon Musk has a great reputation as an innovator, okay? That has morphed into a reputation as a efficiency guy. And his ad revenue is down about 50%. So now he's the head of Doge, supposed to find efficiencies, supposedly making moves that the president is rubber stamping, not letting members of Congress into a U.S. agency, when really all we know about him is really Twitter. He fired about 70% of the workforce. The rate of growth is about zero.
Trump lunar links, where your ball really does disappear into space. Well, folks, while Trump's busy dreaming of lunar golf courses, another unlikely player just entered the political arena. Who'd have thought the guy known for yelling "stay off the weed" would become our voice of reason on Middle East policy? That's right, Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN loudmouth we love to hate, just slam dunked on Trump's Gaza proposal. Now, you might be wondering, can a sports commentator really go toe-to-toe with the Donald on geopolitics? Well, let me tell you, Smith's reaction was faster than a basketball player's travel violation. He came out swinging, and boy did he land some punches. Smith didn't pull any punches when he said, apparently he thinks he can just swoop in and turn it into the next Trump Tower because nothing screams Middle East peace like a gold-plated casino and a neon sign visible from space. Ouch! That's gotta hurt more than a flagrant foul to the ego. But Smith wasn't done there. He went for the jugular, asking, do you understand how ravaged the Gaza Strip is? This isn't a fixer-upper waiting for your golden touch. It's a crisis that needs fixing, not flipping. Boom! That's what we call a verbal slam dunk, folks. And just when you thought Smith couldn't possibly top that, he delivered the knockout blow. Trump thinks he can slap some gold paint on rubble, stick his name on it, and call it progress. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work like that. Talk about a reality check. Smith's not just throwing shade, he's dropping truth bombs left and right.
It's not something that's going to be seen in the immediate moment because the president has only been in office for the last couple of weeks. And obviously he has a mandate from his constituency to rattle fences and to make change and head counts within the federal government. That's what this is really supposed to be about. Why would the American people have a problem with that on its face? The specifics, obviously, the more you learn, the more you see how they conduct themselves, and taxpayer money has just been thrown by the wayside. We don't know what the hell they're doing with it. And so now you've got somebody that comes in, even though he's not an elected official, even though he hasn't been confirmed by the Senate or Congress or anything like that.
The crowd went wild for Smith's commentary. People were laughing, nodding, and probably wishing they could high-five him through their screens. He reminded everyone that these are real human beings facing real hardships while Trump sees prime real estate. Now that's what I call keeping it real. Who knew that the guy famous for roasting NBA players would become our political MVP? Smith's takedown of Trump's plan was more savage than his worst sports rant. He's not just talking about missed free throws anymore. He's tackling missed opportunities for peace. Well, folks, it looks like our favorite real estate mogul turned political mastermind has done it again. Trump's brilliant plan to solve the Gaza crisis. Just move a few million people around like they're pawns on a chessboard. Easy peasy, right? Wrong. As the experts pointed out, this isn't exactly a game of musical chairs with countries. Our unlikely hero, Stephen A. Smith, swooped in to remind us that you can't fix international conflicts with a fancy sign and a coat of gold paint. He hit the nail on the head when he said, "This isn't musical chairs with countries, Donald." Ouch! That's gotta sting more than a bad spray tan. But hey, maybe we're being too hard on old Donnie. After all, he's just trying to apply his vast real estate experience to solve world problems. Next time though, maybe he should stick to playing Monopoly instead of messing with actual countries. At least in Monopoly, the only thing at stake is fake money and plastic houses.